referred to as business overhead expense policy, or BOE as it's commonly known, the business overhead expense policy. So up to this point, probably, we've been talking a great deal about disability insurance on you as an individual. So if you become disabled, you get $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, that kind of stuff there. What if you were a business owner and you had a business? So let's just use an example. Let's say you're a dentist and you've got a very, very successful, thriving dental practice and everything else. So you've got a receptionist, you've got dental hygienist, you've got a very, very solid organization and everything. And you've also obviously signed a long-term lease, let's say, in your property because you don't want to turn around and move all the time. People don't like that kind of thing, So in other words, you've got a very successful operation. But suddenly something happens to you. You get into an accident, injury, illness, whatever it is, and you're no longer able to continue on being a dentist. Obviously, you want to make sure that your business continues on thriving because obviously you're hopeful anyways that you're going to be able to get back to work at some point, obviously sooner than later. So the fact that you're not there and therefore now not generating any income creates a problem for the business, a cash flow problem for the business. Because you still have to pay your receptionist, you still have to pay your rent, you still have to, all these things still have to happen, basically. And it takes a long time to build a business. It takes a long time to find the right location. It takes a long time to find the right people. So the last thing you want, simply because you're disabled, is all of a sudden you have to shut your operation down. And therefore, how do we protect the business? So this is really not disability insurance on you as the owner, okay? What this is disability insurance, you might say, that protects your business. So the question I will ask you basically is, if you became disabled, what income basically do you still need in order to maintain your business? So in other words, what are your business expenses? And we'll go through a list in a moment, a partial list, it's not a full list, but we'll go through all that. And so what is it that if you became disabled, what must continue on, essentially, to make sure that you don't have to, that you need the cash flow, basically, to continue on your business, okay? So here, what we got is that this is business expense only. So it has nothing to do with you at a personal level. It is exactly what is it that we need in order to make the business run. Second thing is, you as the owner are the one that's going to be disabled, obviously, okay? So you're it. You remember that you're the person who's generating all this income. Now you're disabled. And you still need all that cash flow and everything else because you have to cover those expenses, okay? And also remember that the definition of a business for you is in terms of what is the definition of total disability for you. It will be own occupation. And I should mention here that whenever we're talking about disability insurance on a business situation, be it a partner, be it a key person, whatever, it's always own occupation. So it's not regular occupation or any occupation. It's always own occupation. So let's take a look at somewhat of a fully extensive list, you might say, of the things that we will cover. Okay. Obviously, we're going to cover your rent. That's an obvious. And remember that many times in the rent situation, you have a long-term lease, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. So you could be stuck with paying a lease for many, many years. So therefore, obviously, you want to protect that situation, okay? Your heat, hydro, in other words, your utilities basically have to be paid. Property taxes, they have to be paid. Business income taxes, your whatever when you do your filing and everything else, you owe some income tax you have to be paid. Any vehicle lease that's under the business name, salaries for your employees. Okay, so most of your employees. We'll look at some exceptions in a moment, but basically your receptionist, your dental hygienist, things of that nature. There, okay, who are on a salary. Then obviously they want to continue on being paid. They may be understanding for a while, but eventually they're saying, look, I'm going to have to find some other employment here. You don't want to lose these people because they're really, really good. They're a good team. You worked hard to get them. You don't want to lose them. So as long as you continue on paying them, obviously they're going to stick around. But if you don't, at some point they're going to say, I'm sorry, I do have to, I have to leave. Loan, interest only, however. I draw your attention to the fact that So a line of credit, or any kind of loan, business loan, whatever it is, we will cover the interest on that loan, not the actual principal, just the interest only. And the last one, of course, is your lawyers, your accountants, things of that nature there, okay? So these are essentially things that are in fact covered, As you'll see in a moment, these are fine in terms of what is covered, but what is not covered. So we'll cover that in a moment, and we'll see you in a moment.